And now back to BobbyLikis Car Clinic and your host, BobbyLikis.
Here, and I wish you a happy new year before I got off on calls, and I see that Middie's calling, so we're going to take Middie's call. But first, I want to reach out to our Hobbs, New Mexico BobbyLikis Car Clinic affiliate, KYKK, 1110 AM, Al Lobeck, General Manager and Program Director there for Car Clinic affiliate in Hobbs, New Mexico, KYKK, 1110 AM. Happy New Year to everyone in New Mexico and tuned in to KYKK. Let me hear from you at 888 Car Clinic, 888-227-2546. Let's take a call from Middie. Middie, so you've got an 08 CTS. Welcome to BobbyLikis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
What can I do for you?
Well, I had my oil changed a couple of weeks ago, and I take it to Firestone. They're good, you know.
Good.
And I use the synthetic oil, which they do. But ever since I've had my oil changed, I've had a real caustic fume smell come up through the hood. And I took it down, and they checked it out, and they said there's nothing wrong with my car. They put it on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And they were unable to determine what was causing the fumes, the caustic smell that was coming through to the inside.
Well, would you say it was and think about this, there's two different smells, well, there's many different smells, but two specifically. One is an oil burn smell, like if oil was spilled, or if oil, sometimes when you change oil filters, and Middie, the manufacturers, and I'm not throwing darts at manufacturers, but the place that they put oil filters, for example, my car has an oil filter on the top of the engine. So if you take that filter out, it will get oil on the engine. So you have to drain the oil, you have to loosen the filter, and then drain the oil from the bottom and let the oil filter housing drain out. It takes a cartridge, drain out, and then when you pick up the filter, you're literally, it's like holding a glass, if you will, upside down that's filled with oil, and lifting the glass out of the oil or out of the chamber, expecting it not to spill. So you really have to be careful and take care of there. So I said all that to say that there can be from time to time oil that spilled during oil changes. We use pressurized bottles with a cleaning a solution that has no odor and goes away. But even on occasion, you'll smell some new oil change. Now, having said all that, there's also nothing like the odor of raw gasoline. So can you tell me if it's an oil burn smell or if it's a raw gasoline odor?
It would be very difficult for me to determine that factor.
I understand, yeah.
Gas, I don't think it's gas. I feel in my heart that it's oil for some reason.
Well, why don't you get a second opinion? Why don't you have another shop look at it? And there's one thing for sure. On your CTS Cadillac, just like on my car, the manufacturers put engine covers. I mean, if you open a hood of a car, they're really quite beautiful under the hood. And I'm not saying that as a car lover, which I am, but I'm saying it because they have these covers that cover the battery, the engine cover, the front grill area, the radiator, that's called a core support. And literally, you don't really see much under the hood, or at least you can't find much because it's all covered. And a lot of that has to do with the aesthetics, but also a lot of it has to do with quietening of the engine because those covers have padding. My car has padding below. It has literally I don't know what it's made of, but it has like a vinyl diaper that is attached to a belly pan that is bolted on the underside of the car. And in order to get to the engine, you have to unbolt that belly pan and drop it down. That's common of a car. And so I would say to you, if you smell something and see, it's your nose, it's your car, you're more familiar with it than I would be than they. And so if there's something that wasn't there before. So I say get a second opinion and just, call a local shop and say, I want you to ride with me. Can you smell it in the car or you have to be under the hood? or do you?
I smell it in the car,
Yeah.
and usually it's after I've driven for a little bit. It doesn't necessarily occur right at the moment when I start the car.
I got you. So therefore, it leads me to believe there's oil that is dripping down on an exhaust, and you could have it could be something so simple as the little O-ring where the filler cap, the seal is not doing its job, or maybe the filler cap is not. Now you took it back, so they obviously checked those things, but it could be a valve cover, cam cover. It could be a minor leak. But I will tell you, it is something. You are right, and you should get another opinion because you know your car. And I'm the same way. I've got a nose. I can smell. I was walking to lunch after last week's program and was walking toward the restaurant downtown, and a gentleman leaned out his window and said, "Bobby," and I didn't know this person. I walked over there, and he recognized me, and I walked up to his car, and he was sitting there with his daughter in his car. And he asked me if I still had this Viper because he was thinking about getting a Viper and if I still liked it. And the first words out of my mouth is, "You've got an oil leak."
Oh.
And he was on the curb, and I was on the sidewalk, and he says, and his daughter looked at me like, "How'd you know that?" And he said, "Yeah, I got to get it fixed." And I didn't mean to embarrass him, but I couldn't help it. But the bottom line is, and I did give accolades to the Viper, I could smell it. So you go get a second opinion. You got it?
Yes, I got it. It could be an O-ring. It could be a valve cover.
It could be, yeah. But the bottom line is you got an odor that wasn't there before you had an oil change. You didn't notice it, but that doesn't mean, and it could have nothing to do with the oil change. But the bottom line is there's something that's there that should not be there, and you know the car better than anyone because it's your car. You drive it. So that's what you have. It's not that you have to be a technician or mechanically inclined. I talk much about using the senses, the smell, the sight. Look under your car for drippings. Listen for strange noises. Feel for vibrations in the brakes. And you could blindfold me, and I could ride in the car, but I'm more experienced than been in the business a long time. So in that respect, I should be able to feel and hear, but you can too because you know your automobile and you know when it does things that it didn't used to do, and you know that it shouldn't do that. So you stay the course. You got it?
I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
You did state that the cars have like a plastic cover on them.
Yes.
Does the CTS have one of those?
Yes, it does. You have to pull it off. Pull.
You have to pull that off.
Yeah, but it's easy. It pops right off. It's not
Sure.
2 bolts or 2. It's easy. It's just it's there to stop the noise, so you don't hear the noisy timing chains and injectors going clickety 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 all the time. That's what that's for, and for aesthetics as well. So yeah, you want them to. Why don't you go back? We'll go back to Firestone, and say, hey guys, would you pop that cover off and let's look under that cover and make sure that I don't have because I've got a smell that just isn't right. And I mean, you've got a rapport with these folks, so go back. You got it.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
All right.
Let me know.
Thank you very much.
Call
Mr.
me
Likis.
call me back next year, will you?
I will.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.